I'm Hilary Ladd, a local performing artist and nonprofit executive, and I'm so excited to see you at the Empowering Women in Business Conference this March 2024 in St. John, New Brunswick. See you there.
As a woman in leadership position, where does your power come from?
What I have come to the conclusion of is that it really comes from self-awareness and self-compassion and self-validation, like it is all from within. I think one of these things is like knowing yourself really well and being honest about the good stuff and the bad stuff and kind of holding it all equally rather than, I don't know, I'm working on thinking about there being less like good and bad and more just like a lot of options to move forward. And the only way to really know is to be aware of how you feel. And so that's kind of where my power comes from, is just being really self-aware, and that gives me the guidance and the gusto and the nerve to just do what I want to do.
As a musician, could you elaborate on the initial challenges you faced when you start your career?
I started performing a long time ago. I've been performing my whole life. I released my first original music when I was 22, and it was just like a passion project. I had a job and I didn't need to make money at it, but I just really, really enjoyed writing and performing. And so when when my next project came along, it was this larger thing that was Ladd and Lasses. It was a chamber folk trio, and I had my two friends playing with me, violin and cello, and it was really beautiful. And we had this body of work that we were just starting to plan on touring. We did a little bit of New Brunswick stuff. We played at the ECMAs when they were in St. John, and then I had a baby. And then I had another baby and, and bought a house and, became a stay-at-home mom. And all through that time, I'd been working at the Interaction School of Performing Arts. So there was always music in my life and performing, but it was really easy for me to be satisfied with the work, with like my day job, because it was creative. And it was not easier, but possible to balance that kind of work with being a mom. And the problem, I guess, was that I was just really exhausted from looking after everybody. And I was starting to feel more and more dissatisfied with my life as this stay-at-home mom with a beautiful home and a beautiful family. And I was still kind of like in the industry, and I would bring my kids, my babies with me, and I was performed with my son on my back before, I guess there's a lot of obstacles, because as a musician, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to be your own business manager. You have to be your own everything. And unless you believe in yourself and really see the value in what you're producing and contributing, and the time that it takes to go into that, like, it's really easy to just not do it at all. It's really easy to not, because it's so impractical, right? But music and art is such a huge part of everyone's everyday moments. There's always music happening in the background. Like, we're always thinking about a song, or everyone's excited about music and musicians, and there is this glamorous version of it that is really fun, but it's not really the part that I'm interested in. It is the nitty gritty, and that's the scary part, because you have to, again, just keep on putting yourself out there and out there and out there. But the thing that I've learned basically is to have a long-term plan and break it down into really small goals, and to be okay with changing my mind along the way, because it's the evolution of myself as a musician is directly correlated to the evolution of myself as a human being. And through motherhood, essentially, and many other challenges that I've faced, I finally have no doubt that music and performing and writing and helping other people create original works is absolutely important and valuable and a really necessary contribution. And I don't doubt the time that I need to take to do the thing anymore. And I really do trust myself. And it's, so yeah, that's, wow, okay, I don't even, what was the question again? But yeah, obstacles in becoming a musician, basically myself, and then the idea of what the industry is, and then what it actually is. Because I've been doing this for like 14 years now, and I am not like making it as an artist, but I get to be an artist and live my life, and there's room for all of it. And I've spent time in the industry for the last 14 years, so now everybody knows who I am, and they've seen me through this evolution, and they're excited for me. And you know, people from all over the world are like excited to see what I'm gonna put out next. And it's all about relationships, you know? It's not really about making it. It's like about being a kind person and always being a pleasure to be around, you know? And then the people and the places, they know who you are and they think you're great. So, you know, synchronicities happen, you know, things line up. So it's the tension of holding that glamorous picture in your mind of what it looks like to be able to put on the shows that I want to put on, and holding that in tandem with like all of the nitty gritty and boring days and like tedious tasks that nobody wants to do, especially when I'm not feeling super confident. So it's again, it just really comes back to like self-nurturing and knowing myself and being aware of the value of my own contribution.
How have you navigated these challenges and established yourself as a notable musician?
Mostly just from putting myself out there. You know, I've been a part of this community for a really long time. Like I said, my first EP was out when I was 22, and I'm 36 now. And so everybody knows me because I've been, like, I used to do 3-hour cover sets at Tondi's and Bourbon Quarter, and, you know, like, that's how you get out there, you know? You just, like, start doing it and you are present in the community. And then a huge part of that also is that at the same time I started working at Interaction School of Performing Arts, and I was just teaching voice lessons once a week there. I was also managing all of the Starbucks in the city at that point, I think. And yeah, and so I kind of just built a reputation because I kept on delivering. And even though I don't have like a formal music education or any kind of formal education at all, really, I've built my reputation just by being myself and showing up and continuing to be honest about what I want to do now. And it's okay if I change my mind. And it's now I've landed in this place in this community. Like, I feel like I can't walk down the street without having conversations with 5 people, you know, because I there's just so much cross section, and huge part of that is just making people coffee for years and years and years, because that was a big part of it. But the people in St. John in the music industry and New Brunswick and East Coast in general, it's like a very close-knit community, and I'm really, really just lucky to be a part of it.
Would you please mention an example of the impact during your leadership role at Interaction School of Arts?
Yeah, I've been working there since I was 22, and I'm so lucky to get to work there like essentially full time now. And I I mean, one of the things that I miss, because I'm doing a lot more administrative work now, but that's exciting because I just can see the exponential growth that we're going to experience over the next few years. But there's these, every summer there's this 2-week music intensive camp, and it's always been like pretty much all of the music instructors' favorite few weeks of the year. We get to spend 2 whole weeks with a group of maybe 15 to 20 teenagers. And by the end of the 2 weeks, we are putting on a full-blown rock show, and they are incredible. It's honestly like so fun, and to see just how quickly they can not only like learn a bunch of songs, but then also like embody them and know how to perform them and communicate with one another as a group and make sure that they're like on the same page and telling the same story and following the same dynamics, you know. And by the end of it, like their stage presence is just like, it's like it's like electric energy, you know. And then like them going, you know, off into the wings between their songs, and they're just like feeling on top of the world, you know. It's very cathartic, and it's what I love about performing. I love just like getting up there and making a spectacle of myself and just getting all of my energy out and as quickly as I can. And so getting to share that with them, and for them to like see just how quickly they are capable of doing it for real, and then in front of an audience who is just like screaming their faces off because they're so excited. And it's been amazing to see these kids year over year just get more and more and more confident and be able to just see the aha moments that they have for themselves. And now I have all of these students who are like in their mid-teens, and I just think that they're so cool and like way cooler than I could ever possibly be, you know. And I guess the best part is that they kind of think the same about me, right? So it's like this like mutual admiration club, and we all get to just make music and have fun together.
What advice would you give to an aspiring musician looking to build their path in the industry?
Above all else, slow and steady wins the race. You gotta know who you are, and that takes a lot of time. I'm still learning about myself. I think my horoscope this morning said, get to know yourself better than you ever have before. And I was like, all right, challenge accepted. So I guess that's my advice, is to get to know yourself better than you ever have before.
What will your participation in Empowering Women in Business 2024 bring to St. John and the Atlantic Canada?
Well, I'm gonna put on a show, and I'm gonna bring my friends, which means that I get to dance instead of playing an instrument, which I always really like to do. So I guess my hope is to bring rhinestones and sequins and really high energy music that has a message about loving yourself and accepting yourself and just doing what you want to do because you want to do it, and those desires are there for a reason, so you might as well just have fun with it.
Thank you so much for being here.